today was hardware day in Major League Baseball, where I can't say we're surprised that Tarik Skubal and Paul Skenes are your Cy Young Award winners. Skubal winning back-to-back, Skenes winning. And now that they've won, we can get to the really important part of this conversation is when will both of these guys get traded? Right?
That's fair. That's really all that's hanging in the balance.
That's great. When will both of these guys get traded? Because that's what it's all about. Skubal, is he going to go? Skenes, when's he going to go? Let's go Skubal first. Then we'll get to Paul Skenes. Skubal, going into his last year of controllable salary with the Tigers, I love him. Love the guy. Love the guy, love the guy, love the guy. Don't want to trade for him. Don't want to trade for him. He's a Scott Boras guy, so you know he's going to go to free agency. And I'll tell you this, not only do I don't want to trade for him right now, but there's no way he gets moved at all before the trade deadline. I know there's a lot of talk right now because it's a big rumor with Skubal and the Tigers. What are they going to do? He's going to hit free agency. But number one, the Tigers are a World Series threat team. They're not just going to give Skubal away. They're not a team that needs to rebuild. They're not the Pirates. Now, well, once we get a good player, we got to sell him off for a bunch of lesser players because that's kind of how we do things. So the Tigers, they have World Series aspirations. They're going to go into camp with Skubal, and right now it would take an absolute treasure trove of your best prospects to get Skubal away from the Tigers, which do you really want to give somebody that knowing full well that he's going to hit free agency at the end of the year? You can think he's going to come in and love your culture all you want. Scott Boras is going to say, yeah, don't fall in love too much because we're going to free agency because I'm going to get you $300 million. Forget about Yamamoto. I'm going to get you $400 million.
But that's it. He may love everything, but he's still, it's going to cost you $300+ million.
It's going to cost you too much in prospects to be able to get a guy for a year that's going to go to free agency, that's going to go to the highest bidder, right? So the only time he gets moved is at the deadline, and this is if the Tigers aren't in contention. Because the Tigers will keep him all the way through the end of the year. Hope he wants to stay. They're not going to move him if they're in contention. They have no problem keeping him. He's a homegrown prospect. And look, he's a guy that had Tommy John surgery. The Tigers stuck with him. Look at where they are now. Look how good he is. He only gets dealt this year if it's at the deadline and the Tigers are out of contention. Outside of that, Skubal's a Tiger. He's going to pitch the whole year, and then we'll get into the free agency part of it in a year from now. But all this talk about Skubal going now, no way, because no one's going to pony up what the Tigers would want to move him, and it's going to be really a dead issue until we get to that part at the end of July.
Yeah, the part that you bring up about contending is the curiosity, right? They finished the year 2-8, 87 wins on the year, just finishing behind Cleveland. And we look at the rest of the division. KC was just a couple games back. Twins and White Sox trying to figure out what the hell they're doing, and we go from there. But when you get down to it, you know, I hear a lot of the Shohei Ohtani talk of, well, you don't want to do what the Angels did. The Angels did it because Artie Moreno didn't want to give money back, okay? That's all. That's the only reason Ohtani wasn't traded. One, they might have had some thought that they could still convince him to re-sign, right, if they made the money right and whatever. They didn't want to do the deferment, so that's fine. But the other was how much money had to go back to Japanese corporations if he was gone for the second half of that year.
Yeah.
I got to imagine it was enough. So I was like, you know what, we're going to ride this out. And then wish and hope, see what happens. Hopefully he doesn't go up he went up to 5.
Yeah,
and there he is,
up to 5.
standing 30 miles.
I'll go up.
There.
I'll take you up to 5. You go up to 5. No, you go up to 5. You go to Dodger Stadium.
So you've got that. But in terms of the contending, that's the question. Are they willing to risk losing him for nothing?
No, they're not going to. They will. No, if they're contending all the way through the end of the year, yes, they would have to be on pace to finish 15, 20 games under 500. Even if they're at 500 at the end of July, they'll keep Skubal. Because you see, this team, this is a playoff team. There are a couple of plays the last 2 years from moving on in the playoffs, being an ALCS team, maybe a World Series team. So, yeah, they'll hold on to him all the way through the end of the year. I have no doubt in my mind. That's not happening.
See, I look at him as a pitcher. I'm going into the marketplace. I'm going to say I've got the best going in the game. Look at there's hardware. He's one of 5 Detroit Tiger pitchers in history. You didn't have any fun with my trivia question, too. You took the fun guy off the board.
Well, because I've known that of the 5 players who have won the Cy Young Award for the Tigers, you said, who are the 5? And the first one I said right away, Willie Hernandez. You go, But that's the fun one.
Right, I mean, Scherzer, Verlander, Denny McLain, who cares?
It's the most famous one. He won Cy Young in '84, first relief pitcher.
As a reliever.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a big deal. Certain things stick in my head. Certain trivia questions stick in my head.
But yeah,
and
we started going down
the
rabbit hole of old award winners. Like, how did that guy? No, that was fun. But I just think when you got a pitcher, affects every fifth day. Mm-hmm. Like if you've got a couple of these squads that are willing to mortgage for a half a year, come on, give me all I can, because I know I'm coming up snake eyes once Scott Boras gets to the marketplace.
Now, for Paul Skenes, who wins a Cy Young unanimously, I think
10-10 unanimous Cy Young. Man.
He's the new Jacob deGrom.
How about that?
Win 10 games, it doesn't matter. You're still the Cy Young. All this amid reports today from a couple of sources that say Paul Skenes has told the Pirates he wants to play for the Yankees, and the Pirates understand that. Okay, wants to play for the Yankees. The Pirates understand that. Okay, you think I'm going to sit here and go, no, you can't let him go. Okay, there's no way. I think the Pirates understand. Listen, Paul Skenes is as the big superstar that he is. Him, Livy Dunn, they're not going to spend their time in Pittsburgh. Okay, just not going to happen. But to take this in a different perspective, right? He wants to go to the Yankees, great, right? Because I'm sure if he wants to get there, the Yankees will make it happen, right? This is where the fans got Nico Harrison fired in Dallas. Yankee fans will get Paul Skenes to the Yankees because there's no way. Now Brian Cashman is now sweating profusely because he's going, I have to trade prospects to get Paul Skenes at some point. I don't want to trade any prospects because I think all my guys are really good. It's why I don't make big trades anymore. Oh, I got to go take a Tums. But they'll make it happen. But I want to say this in a different angle here, right? The Pirates don't want to trade Paul Skenes. But what else are you going to do? Because they're sitting now going, hey, well, there was an old fable I remember reading when I was a kid about a guy that had a big brick of gold, and he had it in his backyard, and he put it in his backyard, and he dug it up every day to look at it, right? And he put it back in the ground, and then he dug it up every day to look at it. And then one day, a neighbor's walking by and sees the guy, and he's crying in his backyard. The neighbor says, well, what's going on? And the guy says, my gold is gone. Someone stole my gold. I can't believe they stole the gold out of the backyard. I don't have the gold anymore. And the neighbor says, well, just get a rock, paint it gold, bury it anyway. You weren't doing anything with it, so it may as well just get a fake rock and pretend it's gold. I was thinking about that today because what I want to say is, okay, Pittsburgh, if you don't want to trade Paul Skenes, I get that. Who wants to trade Paul Skenes? But don't just sit back and we have Paul Skenes and then piecemeal stuff together, because you're going to be 70-92 with Paul Skenes. Go out and spend some bleeping money, man. You got a guy that's that great. You want to convince him to stay? Go spend some money. It's okay. You don't need to be a big market team in the NFL and a small market team in Major League Baseball. Go spend some cash, get a couple of players, and try to compete. It's not impossible. You're on a 10-year downtick of when is this ever going to happen, coming off a 20-year downtick before you got good for a couple of years in the like 2011, 2012, 2013 when McCutchen was fantastic, right? So you're in a huge downtick. Go out and spend money. You don't want to trade him. We don't want to move him. We love Paul. We want to try to find. Go spend money, because that's how you're going to get him to stay. That's how you get people to come to the ballpark. You want people to come more than once every fifth day. Go spend some money. And I'm not saying you got to go on a Steve Cohen spending spree, but you have cash. And if you don't have cash, sell the team, because maybe you shouldn't own the team. You don't have. If you're sitting here showing me your pockets are empty, we don't know what we can do. No, go spend some money. Go get a couple of bats in, and or go get another pitch, whatever you need, and go compete, because you're a dead franchise. You are an absolutely dead franchise that we pay attention to once every fifth day, because you have a guy that's fantastic, right? So before you get all of this, well, we have this, and we're just a feeder team for the Yankees. No, spend some money for the next couple of years. Don't need to go and sign somebody to a Scott Boras 7-year, $500 million contract, but go sign somebody for 2 years and $50 million. Sign a couple of guys that way. There's players out there. You could go get Luis Severino away from Sacramento because he doesn't want to play in Sacramento anymore. He could be your number 2 starting pitcher. There's guys out there. You can spend money the next 2 years and do it. Go do it, Pittsburgh. Put your money where your mouth is. You don't want Paul Skenes to go. Do you feel bad about it? No, go put your money. Go spend some money.
Contract goes through the 2029 season. The Aesop's fable that you were getting into, the miser and his gold.
Very
good.
The
old moral of the story, that a possession is only as valuable as the use we make of it.
Exactly.
So get to work. Don't build a
Again, right
museum.
now it's a 70-92 piece of work that you have, but go get some players, go improve, and maybe, hey, as we've seen, if you're a 500 team, you're contending for the playoffs all the way through the end of August now. You have a couple of years with Skenes. Now he may wind up at some point saying, I'm not going to play here anymore. You're trading me right now, in which case then you're kind of stuck because then I'm going to hold out. I'm not going to play.
Sure.
But right now, yeah, you have him control for a couple of years. So go spend some cash.
Yeah,
go
you
spend
got
some
3
cash
more
and do it.
years based on some quick research that the revenue share was worth about $110 million.
Give it all to Skenes. Give it all to other guys. Give some to Skenes.
But that's
Give
it.
it all to
You
other
got
guys.
3 years to go and spend money elsewhere. There's plenty of bargains. Go find Jonah Hill and have him crunch some numbers. What's he do? Gets on base. Okay, that could help.
Guys, I'm going to point at Mike Harmon again if you don't tell me what I want to hear.
So we'll do that. I'll let my hair grow out and I'll put on some weight and I'll be that Jonah Hill character if I need to, just so we can make this happen for Pittsburgh. It's a lovely ballpark, a wonderful sports city. But yeah, and to your point, they show up every 5th day. All right, Skenes is going. And even then, you're only getting 10. He was 10-10. It's a lot of no decisions. And I mean, we were looking at old records of guys. How many decisions do you have? 42. All right, cool. But with the way baseball works anymore, you don't have that. But yeah, you're getting a gift by the way they've worked this out. Go actually spend that money. Go bring in someone, sell off pieces of the team to bring in an infusion of cash to try to make it worth your while and actually be competitive. Because we've watched the teams in that division. They ebb and flow. There's no greatness on an annual basis. Milwaukee, you've got a manager of the year a couple of times, and they've done everything right farm system wise. Cubs run up now and again, but the Cardinals have fallen on hard times. There's opportunity to go with 1 or 2 players, and as you say, if you're in contention in September and you find yourself in a playoff scenario, guess what? There you go. Skenes pitches the first game, and all of a sudden you're off and pacing. So yeah, you got 3 years to figure it out. That's a long lead, which means this is a daily occurrence. Do the math for over 1,000 days.